Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order. Town clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Lamore?
Here.
Mr. Valano?
Here.
Mr. Bafardi? He's absent. Mr. Calder?
Here.
3 present, 1 absent.
Okay, let's have the Pledge of Allegiance led by Mr. Milano.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Supervisor obviously is not here this evening. I will say that's the first meeting that he has missed, and I'm going to do my best to fill in so we can get through this. I just want to mention a couple of things before we get started. Under Supervisor's report, Town Hall is going to be closed on July 3rd for 4th of July weekend. And those who don't know it, we have summer concerts that are taking place right now at the Senior Center. So the schedule is on our website if anybody wants to attend and go to the concert. So that's all I have right now for Supervisor's report. All right, we have a quorum, and we'll get started with proclamations or presentations. And we have none, am I correct?
Mr. Aaron
We do.
Francie.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Aaron Frank. I'm a licensed engineer with Frank Engineering. I've been contracted to assist the town in fulfilling its requirements as a MS4. This is an announcement that the Town of Rotterdam's MS4 annual report has been completed. The report summarizes the town's efforts and progress with the minimum control measures listed in the MS4 permit. The report can be reviewed by the public at the Department of Public Works during normal business hours, and a copy would be placed on the town's website for review. Thank you.
Thank you. Under public hearings, we have one.
Jeff. Thank you. To allow for a change of zone request from High Bridge Development Route 146 LLC for property located at 2694 through 2696 Hamburg Street and is known as tax parcel number 59.15-1-1, Rotterdam, New York. The applicant is requesting a change of zone from retail business B1 to general business B2 on a plus or minus 4.2 acre parcel.
Anybody wants to speak on this subject?
Mr. Bob Godlewski.
Bob Godlewski, 1046 Manus Drive, Rotterdam, New York. First of all, I'd like to say I wholly support this zone change, and I hope that the town board takes positive action tonight to make it happen. I've known Mr. Roth on and off for a number of years, either in an unofficial or official capacity. Anybody that knows what this site looked like 4 or 5 years ago, he's done an outstanding job to renovate that site and update it. I know he has made a significant dollar investment in this property. And I think it's incumbent upon this town board to give the developer all the options and flexibility to use that property to get the most out of it. I noticed in going through his application, and I'm going through the minutes from the Planning Commission, and every place I look, every other word is to make the property more marketable. Mr. Luca said, and I quote, "I think that anything we can do to enhance the marketability for your folks is certainly going to help the business." And in this case, I couldn't agree more. As a footnote, I'm reading about all this marketability, and it is a problem in this town. We don't have to talk about Rotterdam Square. There's a lot of other empty businesses. 3 years ago, the town board got $180,000 for the Rotterdam IDA. There were many discussions about How are we going to use that money for economic purposes? I don't believe, and I haven't seen anything on any resolutions or any discussions in this forum, where any initiative has been taken to use that money for economic development. I would suggest if we could come up with some type of marketing scheme, all right, to help businesses, that would be a valid use of that money instead of letting it sit there. Now, unless it's been committed to a project that I'm not aware of, I would ask the board, because it is now 3 years since we received that money, if there's something we can do to help not just this area of Rotterdam, but some of the other areas where places are closed up. That's all I have on this issue. Thank you.
That's the only speaker
That's it?
for that public hearing.
Okay. Guess we closed the public hearing, am I correct?
Yes.
Okay. Starting the resolution portion.
I have to read this.
I'm sorry, you gotta read this big paragraph first.
Those members of the public wishing to address the town board will be asked to sign in before the meeting is called to order on the sign-in sheets being provided. Speakers will be called to the podium in the order of their signing in. Persons recognized by the chair to speak during privilege of the floor shall direct his or her comments to the town supervisor or chair of the meeting. Persons granted the privilege of the floor shall first clearly state his or her name and address for the record. Persons so addressing the chair through the use of a prepared written statement shall submit a copy of the same to the town clerk for the purpose of maintaining clear and accurate official minutes of the town board meeting. The purpose of public hearing and/or privilege of the floor shall be for speakers to express their views, thoughts, and speak freely. Public hearings and privilege of the floor are not meant to commence a dialogue with town board members, as town board will not comment at this time, which is solely for the public to be heard. Each speaker who wishes to address the town board in the public shall have an equal and reasonable opportunity to be heard by the town board and the public. Each speaker shall state his or her name and address for the record. Each speaker shall be afforded a maximum of 4 minutes to address the town board in public.
Is there any on that list at all?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, I'm sorry. Dave Neer, thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
My name is Dave Neer. I live at 65 Albemarle Road in Scotia. I am the owner of Northeast Electrical Inspections, LLC. We are a new third-party electrical inspecting agency. We work from requests from contractors, electrical contractors, and solar contractors for their electrical inspections that go along with the town permits. So I have included our intent there to work with the town. First page is our insurance binder, naming the town of Rotterdam as additionally insured. The next page is my qualifications. Being certified electrical inspector, being a member of the IBEW for the last 30-some years. I'm a master electrician since 1996. So we're looking for approval to just work with the town for any requests that come up in this area. We are certified. I think there's 2 or 3 other companies that work right now that have been around forever. We just want to be added to the list.
Thank you. Carrie Pointed.
Hello, Carrie Pointek, 989 River Road. I'm here about Resolution 130.15. I just wanted to thank all the members of the board for their consideration in advance. You've been very nice to work with, and the staff also. If everything goes positively this evening, I would like to invite you all to come in when I do finally open. And I also want to give my personal guarantee that it's never going to be what it used to be. Thank you.
Thank you. Larry Lamora.
Board members see this okay? Okay. Larry Lamora, Town of Rotterdam Highway Superintendent, 54 Duanesburg Road. Last month's meeting, that was at the Rotterdam Junction Firehouse. Mr. Baffardi had mentioned that the Highway Department is absenteeism and vacation absenteeism was very high, and that the workers need to come to work. I check on my men, what's going on. I okay the vacation times, the personal time, sick time I don't okay, that's usually called in. We have 25 employees at the Highway Department. When I went back to work after that town board meeting, not only was I upset by what was in the paper and what was said at that town board meeting, I wrote these figures down. These are the employees, not by name, but dates of hire. I won't put their names up there as confidential reasons for their part and for the towns anyways. But we have gentlemen here with vacation time built up from 40 hours, 356, 179, 349. These are hours, 410. So, just about everybody's got vacation time built up by the gross here. Personal time, you're allowed up to 48 maximum hours personal time to be built up. We have some 48 maximums, quite a few of them. Everybody has some time as far as personal built up. The sick time, we have a gentleman here with 1,600 hours sick time, the maximum allowed built up. We have other men who were 777, 1,111, 1,188. These are time abusers, I'm told. Time abusers, maybe one person here we do have who is now under verbal warning January 1st and a write-up warning that happened in the beginning of May. So he is under investigation, whatever, to check on his time and his excessive use of sick time. Another one we had was with some low time as far as sick time, medical backup reasons we have on file. It's private. Employee himself has brought that into me and confidentially gave that to me and made his reasons for it. Because I brought up, I want to know why we only have 2 hours sick time on this one employee. But overall, like my grandfather told me one day, Larry, you go to the chicken house, you get 24 eggs. I don't think all 24 are going to be good. You might lose 1 or 2 on the way back. But that's how it is in life. You know, what are you going to do? That's the truth. But anyway, by looking at these figures here, these men are not time abusers. And they come to work. They come to work, and there's times they have to work. I've been with these guys when they come into work. I've stayed to the last one left, which sometimes it's 4 in the morning. You work from 7 in the morning till 4 in the morning the following day, and that gentleman wants to use a sick day. Thank God. I'd rather have him take a sick day than come in groggy and run over an employee or a resident trying to do his job because he's not up to par. So I don't believe that's true. I got the figures here. Nobody, you know, it's the only thing I can prove. I work with the guys, and they come to work. As far as I'm concerned, they come to work and they do one heck of a job. And sometimes sick times are used and necessarily used. And he said, as for this summertime, he sees no reason due to it's not snowing or icy roads out there. Maybe some of us don't really know what the highway department does all the time, but come springtime after the snow and ice is gone, we start with the lawn damage repair from our water main breaks and the snow plowing that happens. We got mailbox repair and replacements like the county does, the town does, other municipalities from the plows. Heavy snow gets against them, sometimes breaks them, we make good for them. The catch basin jetting and cleaning. We have thousands of catch basins in this town that need to get done under the MS4 plan and forced by DEC for us to do that. We have drainage ditches that need to be cleaned, repair and fill of sinkholes from drainage issues, retention pond cleanings. We have retention ponds and developments that need to be mowed down, cleaned out, and the waterways repaired because of overgrowth. This slows that down. Let me see here, we got drainage inlet and outfall cleaning, potholes filling that has to be done, which the whole town this year's been a total wreck with the potholes. We're still trying to catch up on that. Road repair to water main breaks occur through the winter, which is more extensive in the winter time. Prepping of roads for paving, paving of the roads, driveway apron repairs, machinery and equipment repairs that we do at the highway department, also for other divisions of the town we do. We do traffic safety, install of road signs and repair, emblems and signs for town departments, roadway barricades, cones, and work areas. That's some of the lists we do in the summertime. Oh, wait, one more thing. A big thing we do in the summertime. Leaf bag pickup with packers, brush pickup with grapple trucks, yard waste processing and disposal of. And the roadway cutting back with brush and weeds. Install with the opt-out markers and for the brush fees, which we haven't been able to get to because we've been short-staffed. That's the summertime. Wintertime, yes, we do our snow plowing, de-icing of the roads, sidewalk removal and de-icing, snow removal, cul-de-sacs, and the town properties and some intersections throughout the town to open them up for visibility for traffic. We open the catch basins from the snow banks that are built up in the waterways. We have to go back after the snowstorms and push them back, open them up so there's no flooding in the roads. We got tree limb cutting due to the storm damage, Christmas tree pickup and disposal, equipment maintenance, which is more extensive during the winter time when you have all the trucks out there snow plowing. And plus in the winter time we try to do a little bit more equipment maintenance for the summer trucks that need to go out. Also, we assist with the highway department, we assist the water department also, which is more extensive work in the winter time due to all the water main breaks. And like I say, these jobs, like even our winter time, the snow plowing, de-icing, I mean, a storm may last sometimes to take us to clean up a small storm 4 hours. We might have a storm that takes us 12 to 18 hours to clean up. And yes, that may cause one or two men become sick that next day because they work 16, 18 hours. Try to wake up to go back to work. If you got home at 2 in the morning, you try to get up at 5, 6, you get to work by 7, you're not feeling too good. I can understand that. And like I say, I'd rather take that sick day than him hurting another employee or a resident. Okay, and one more point I'd like to bring up, a couple more. In our prior budgets, that I have the past 5 years of copies with me, I've been asking for employees for the town, from the town board, for the highway department. 2011, we had total workforce of 32 employees, which includes senior road maintenance supervisor, senior working crew leader, heavy medium equipment operator, a medium equipment operator, 14 laborers and 3 mechanics. As time's gone down, it's been going down. 2014 went down to 29. 2015, right now, we're down to 25. 2016, I like to see it back up to 30. Reason for it, just in the winter time alone, we have 12 major routes, areas that we snow plow, which takes 12 drivers and 12 wingmen. We need a loader operator in the yard that fills the trucks as they come in for their salt and sand. We need a crew leader that stays out there, drives around, checks on the drivers, the trucks. If there's a problem, to get another employee to assist with a problem with a truck, if it's broke down in the road, anything like that. One driver for a light truck for snow plow operator, which he has, we have one small truck that does the police department. Some of the smaller roads that our bigger trucks can't get in, that are dead-ended, or where we can go down with a small truck and clean that out. Usually just one is needed. Three mechanics at this time while the snow plow is going on. Not always are they doing mechanical work. They're either pulling the trucks out if one gets stuck. A lot of times mechanical work, the salt chain breaks for the salters. But if they are there on scene and able, and we need extra operators, send out an extra front end loader or an extra plow truck due to a heavy storm, they do fill them seats and go out doing that. Just that alone gives me 30 employees, and that's if every single one can come in. So I'd like to see our staff to be built up a little bit. In the prior, in our past budgets shows the number of employees were prior held for all these positions. In 2014, our senior road maintenance supervisor retired. Also, our senior road working crew leader retired. In 2015, I just filled the senior working crew leader because he came from a heavy MEO position, worked his way up to that. I'm hoping by next year, he's been doing a great, successful job with that. He may go up one and we can get someone underneath him. We need 30 employees, minimum staff, and I believe in the highway department. Then there was items brought up about the street paving. 2014, we used our CHIPS money. We did Pauline Avenue, Augustine Avenue, Van Dyke Avenue, Bernard Street, Miles Standish, DeForest, Merritt, and Chapel and Evans. And he says, Mr. Lamore, you live on Evans. Yes, I do live on Evans. Evans and Chapel, the town themselves did that with their own men, their own equipment, and their own trucks. These were other ones were put out by outside contractor, which is usually always done. We get our prices from them, we go by county bid or state bid, we follow up with that. These two streets here we did ourselves. We saved on Chapel Street over $4,000 by the original quote of $11,299. We saved $4,000 on that. Evans Road, the original quote was $21,736.16. We saved over $10,000 doing that ourselves. With that money savings, a little bit left over from the CHIPS, which I had left, I was able to do DeForest Street for $20,499. So these are the streets that were done, not two streets, and not just because one was mine. Yes, one was mine, but I'm not the only resident on that street. I'm sure we didn't build a street just for me. This year, we have a partial list of streets that need to be done. I brought a partial, there's more than this that needs to be done. Sidney Crash, Hewitt, Sherwood, Puritan, Stewart, Clement, Gents, William Street, East Campbell, Studley, Fazula, Elizabeth, Wedgwood, Greenpoint, Beverly, Lilac, Summer, Bruno, Vienna Street, Katy, and Central. Bruno, I didn't get the price on that one yet. But just these prices I have here come to $541,505. This is only a partial list. This is, if you drive these streets, you know they're bad. You can come back, I'm sure you can bring me more streets that need to be done. Then he's saying, well, Mr. Lamore, in the past 2 years, we had $200-some thousand, almost $500,000 to do our roads with. Sounds like a lot of money, doesn't it? We need 541 just to do a partial list for this year. 2008, our adapted budget showed me we had $250,000 put in, along with our CHIPS money. Our appropriated expenses in our budget was $318. We did $499,000 in 1 year in 2008 in paving. 2009, we did $637,000. 2010, $385. Then, noticing the budget as time went on, in 2010, adopted budget was $100,000. 2011, $100,000. The requests that were made were given. 2012 was a request of $75,000. 2013, I wasn't here. There was a request of $0 for some reason. They got $0. That was easy for them. Appropriate expenses were $0. All they used was the CHIP money for $182,525. Total highway resurfacing, for some reason, the budget showing $211,191. Must have went over a little bit. Got paid. 2014, I wasn't here for that budget to be made out. 2013, they make the budget for 2014. $0 again was asked for in our paving account. Got $0 again. That was easy, right? Appropriated expenses were $0. I was there. In the streets I did do, we had 231,536. I got it to 231,392 without going over. Got as close as I could to get the streets I could done. Now I was here in 2014. In I requested for 2015, which is written in the budget there in black and white, $400,000 to put with our CHIPS money for paving. I thought it wasn't that far unreasonable that we should have some money to catch it up since we haven't been doing too much paving. I got zero. And this is what I'm left with, the 231,536 in CHIPS money. So I have $541,505 with a partial list of streets I need to get paved here. I'm trying to figure out what to do. I'd like to find some answers from somebody, and I'm letting the board know that possibly next year for the next budget, when we go over the budget this year, that we need to get some money back in our paving. And the residents would like to see their streets get done. And I'd be happy to tell them we'd be able to do the streets for them. So, the mismanagement of the highway department, I don't believe is on me or the highway guys themselves. So in the budget there, that budget's made up here and given to me, and that's what I have to deal with. And for what I got to deal with, and the few guys that we have to, and the many things that we have to do, I don't think there's any mismanagement on the highway department or myself. Thank you.
Larry, can I have it just to take copies and then I'll give it back to you tomorrow, is that all right?
Yeah.
If you don't mind. Thank you so much. That's it.
That's it?
Diane, I signed under privilege. She must have missed the
Thanks.
fine
Appreciate it.
print.
I'm sorry?
You must have missed the fine print.
You say you signed under both, go ahead.
You'll see Priv,
Wait, what is it?
you'll see Priv.
Oh my God, I'm sorry.
That's
That's
all
my
right.
fault. I am so
No, you're
sorry.
under a lot of pressure, it's all right.
No, I didn't see priv. Because I'm used to privilege of the floor, that's why. But I will change it.
All right,
Okay, sorry.
that was a very informative presentation, I might add. Nothing that I didn't already know, I might add. All right, why am I here? I've already given my name. I was at the last meeting, and I know it was a rather long and hectic meeting, to say the least. There was a resolution on, coincidentally, I hired 2 people in the highway department, but that wasn't the issue. It was 101-15. And I asked the question, why in this particular resolution for these individuals does it refer to the New York State Corrections Law, Article 23A. And I was hoping, as the meeting progressed, because I understand the process, I may not agree with it, but I understand the process, that the supervisor, being the vocal point, doesn't wish to have the discussion or debate with the people that are talking about it. I understand it, I don't like it, but I understand it. But I was hoping when it came time to vote on that resolution, that somebody up on the board would have answered that for me. It's something in the 5 years that I was on this board, I've never seen before. And the reason I brought it up, because as I mentioned then, I have a copy of that law, and it implies that you have a prior criminal record. That's why I brought it up. So I would hope that I'll get an answer. Now, the second item, and I'm not gonna be here for 15 minutes, I can assure you. I was at a meeting down at the Schenectady County Library on February 18th of this year. Diane Marco was there, Mr. Calder was there, Mr. Baffardi. It had to do about shared services. And what it was all about, basically, now that we have this tax cap, all right, and we're in the second year, that all municipalities have to come up with an efficiency plan. And there were many things discussed there, but what I took away from it, the town of Rotterdam, as all the other towns in Schenectady County, could either go on their own, or they could go in with the county. And in order for that to happen, because it's a taxing situation, and it could impact the rebate that our taxpayers will get hopefully next fall. It required legislative action. Now, I watch all the meetings, I do enjoy them, I might add, and I go through all the resolutions, and I have not seen to date any resolution authorizing the town of Rotterdam to participate with the county or the efficiency plan that was supposed to be submitted by the controller June 1st, which I have foiled for a copy for, that the board approved. And that is in the law. So I would like to have those answers. Now, I recognize that you may not have the answers to this particular one or the other one, but there's a little part that the town clerk reads under procedures in public hearings, and I'm not gonna read the whole thing, but it basically says, as the town board will not comment at this time, which is solely for the public to be heard. And being I've been up there, and I've been out there, it begs a question. Do I, or anybody as a taxpayer, have a right to hear the answer at this meeting? Or when will we get an answer? And I guess the word I'm looking for is closure. All right, and like I said, I've been an elected official, and there's not a line of people going out that street that come up here with issues. And I would like to think if you had the answer, give it to me tonight, because I'm not just here for myself. The public has these same questions, but they don't come here. So I thank you for your time, and I look forward to your answers.
That's it.
Okay, the portion of the meeting is closed. Let's go to the resolution portion. Clerk, would you please read?
Yep, 12915, appoint individuals to various seasonal summer positions at the Highway Department effective June 29th, 2015.
Any discussion? I'm
Uh,
sorry. Joe?
Yeah. Sorry about that. It's flipping. All right. Mr. Deputy Supervisor, the only thing that I would bring to your attention on this particular resolution is that according to the application itself, it says that the individuals have to be 18 years of age at the time that they start the job, because the job requires working with power equipment. One of the two individuals is currently 17 and will not be 18 years old until July 1st. Now, as for the first individual, Joseph Dixon, who is 18, I have absolutely no problem with, passing it and going forward and having it effective immediately. However, for the other individual, because he will not be 18 for another few days, I think that we should split the two resolutions, vote on one to be effective immediately, and vote on the other one to be effective as of July 2nd, so that he's 18 at the time that he commences his employment.
Can we
So-
just leave it in one resolution and just amend it?
You could leave it, the question from the town clerk is, could we leave it as one resolution and amend it? And so
So
the
we
current effective date requested by the department head is June 29th, 2015.
So just change it to the second, is that correct?
For both of them, I mean,
What's the
You
difference?
could-
It's a day or two.
Or in the alternative, you could just bifurcate it and leave section 2 specific to the employee who's over the age of 18 and amend it to add a section 3 for the second employee for an effective date of July 2nd, 2015.
If we just go to the second, would
Is that
that be
good?
comfortable with you?
yeah, you know what, that's fine. It's gonna be,
So we just
It's
changed
a few
the
days.
wording from June 29th till July 2nd.
No, that's good. So someone
We're just
can
gonna change the wording from 29th till the 2nd,
Okay,
and that's when the date will begin work,
okay.
all right?
So vote for both, you said?
Well, you need a motion to amend.
Yes.
okay, I hereby make a motion to amend section 2 of resolution 129.15 to read, this resolution shall become effective July 2nd, 2015.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second the motion.
Okay, so to amend it, Mr. Lamora?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
So be 3 yes to amend and Mr. Bavardi's absent. 3 yes. Okay, now we can vote on it?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Correct.
So again, you just have any discussion on this? Appoint the individuals to various seasonal summer positions at the Highway Department effective July 2nd, 2015. And then again, I'll change that section 2.
Okay, do we have a motion?
Motion.
Okay, Mr. Lamore?
I'll second it.
Okay, Mr. Valano seconds the motion. Vote?
Mr. Lamore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
So it'll be 3 yes. 13015, resolution to adopt a request by Carrie Pointick, owner, to renovate the interior window, electrical, plumbing, and exterior siding renovations on a 1.6 acre parcel of property located in the Aquifer Overlay District AO. This property tax map is number 20-2-11, is located at 989 River Road, Rotterdam Junction, New York, 12150. Public hearing was called for at the town board meeting of April 22nd, 2015. Public hearing was held at the town board meeting of May 27th, 2015.
Okay, any discussion? I have something. I just wanted to mention that, obviously, Mrs. Pointek is in the audience here. I have checked with the building department myself, and they tell me that she's done quite a nice job fixing the place up, number one. And I think our main concern was the aquifer overlay, so they tell me that doesn't affect that whatsoever. And that's all I have to say. So we have a motion on this?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion at all? Diane?
Mr. Lamore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
3 yes. 13115, adopt.
Motion passes, by the way.
Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Adopt and authorize the supervisor to sign negative declaration dated June 24th, 2015 for a change of zone request on approximately plus or minus 4.21 acres of property from retail business B1 to general business B2 on tax map number 59.15-1-1 located at 2694, 2696 Hamburg Street, Rotterdam, New York, 12303.
Any discussion? Hearing none. Do I have a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Okay, we got a motion and a second already. Diane?
Is there any discussion? You did already? You good? Okay. Mr. Lamore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
3 yes, passed. 13215, adopt local law number 1 of the year 2015 for the following purpose: to allow for a change of zone request from Highbridge Development, Route 146 LLC for property located at 2694, 2696 Hamburg Street and is known as tax parcel number 59.15-1-1 Rotterdam, New York. The applicant is requesting a change of zone from retail business B1 to general business B2 on a plus or minus 4.21 acre parcel. Public hearing was called for at the town board meeting of May 27th, 2015. Public hearing was held at the town board meeting of June 24th, 2015.
Any discussion?
I just would like to say that I think that anything we can do to help the Hamburg Street area build their businesses up and get that area booming again, because that's one of the original areas in Rotterdam. That's sort of like what is now Altamont Avenue. That's what Hamburg Street was, and we really need to get that built up and going again. So I think this is a great thing.
Mr. Valano, can I say? Mr. Roth is in the audience, by the way. And I remember when I saw that artist rendering of the building, what it was going to look like. And boy, it looks good. It looks exactly like the rendering. And came out really, really nice. I want to applaud you for that and for the project over there totally. Okay, do we have a motion on this?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Quick, okay. Diane, we vote?
Mr. Lamore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
3 yes, passed. 13315, declare the town of Rotterdam as lead agency and authorize the town planner to prepare, file, publish, and distribute all documents necessary to comply with 6 NYCRR Part 617 and state environmental quality review relative to the below proposed amendment to the Code of the Town of Rotterdam for a comprehensive plan amendment and change of zone.
Any questions? Discussion? No? Okay. Diane?
Motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Mr. Lemore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes,
3 yes, passed.
motion passes. Next one?
13415, call for public hearing to be held on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2015, at 7 PM at the John F. Kerwin Government Center, B. Dalton Banbury Hearing Room, 1100 Sunrise Boulevard, Rotterdam, New York, 12306, upon adoption of a proposed local law of the year 2015 for the following purpose: to allow for a comprehensive plan amendment and change of zone request from RM Lent Properties LLC owner for property located at 604 Marival Road and is known as tax parcel number 48.3-4.12. The applicant is requesting a change of zone from heavy industrial I2 to multifamily residential R3 to facilitate the construction of apartments on a plus or minus 2.25 acres of the plus or minus 4.33 acre parcel.
Any discussion on this public hearing? None? Okay, we'll vote, Diane?
Motion?
I'll make a
Sorry,
motion.
Sorry.
And I'll second the motion.
Okay. Mr. Lemore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
3 yes. All
Motion
passed.
passes.
13515, call for a public hearing to be held on Wednesday, July 22nd, 2014, at 7 PM at the John F. Kerwin Government Center, Town Hall, 1100 Sunrise Boulevard, Rotterdam, New York, 12306, for the following purpose: to request David Aragelo, owner, for the demolition of the existing single-family dwelling and construction of a new single-family dwelling on a .45 acre parcel of property located in the Aquifer Overlay Zone. This property tax map is number 20.5-7-37, is located at 10 Isabella Street, Rotterdam Junction, New York, 12150.
Any discussion? Okay, do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Okay, Diane?
Mr. Lemore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
3 yes. 13615, adopt standard workday for appointed officials for the purpose of determining days worked reportable to the New York State and local employees retirement system.
Any question on this? Hearing none?
I'll make a motion.
Okay,
I'll second.
Mr.
Vote.
Lemore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
yes,
3 yes. Passed. 13715, the town board of the town of Rotterdam declares an emergency and authorizes the expenditure of funds on an emergency basis for the purpose of replacement of a damaged drainage pump located at Antonio Hills, St. Lucille Drive, Rotterdam, New York, 12306, in an amount not to exceed $30,000.
any discussion? This is something we've discussed in, earlier in our agenda portion. With all the rains and the floods we've had lately, this pump is a special pump. And Mr. Lemore had to go out and find a place that could make this pump. And we're talking about 12 to 16 weeks maybe before we get the pump actually back and installed. In the meantime, it's been tough for the highway department. They've been sending people over every time it rains to run a small pump and try to pump the street. It's caused some damage, it's caused some problems. So anyway, that's on the discussion. Do you have anybody that wants to move this?
I'll move it.
Okay,
I'll second.
all right.
Mr. Lemore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
3 yes. 13815, authorize the supervisor to enter into a contract with New York State Municipal Workers' Compensation Alliance, 6601 Lake Shore Drive, Cicero, New York, 13039, to provide workers' compensation insurance to the town from July 1st, 2015 through July 1st, 2016.
Any discussion?
Yes, Mr. Deputy Supervisor. The only thing is, I do note that Comp Alliance, I understand it's a low bidder, but it also requires us to advance, not only pay $60,000 less net, but we have to advance an additional $120,000 less than the state insurance fund bid, because their bid includes a projected dividend that is not guaranteed to be refunded to us. So, I mean, this is a very good deal for a very expensive piece of coverage.
I take it you're happy with it.
I am.
Good. I'll make a motion?
I'll move.
I'll second.
Mr. Lemore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
3 yes. Passed. 139.15, accept the town clerk's report for the month of May 2015.
April.
No, it's May.
Oh, you changed it?
Yeah, there was a typo.
Any discussion? Except for the typo, I mean. Hearing none? Can I vote?
I'll make a motion.
Okay, we got
I'll second it.
Mr. Lano seconds it. Diane?
Okay, it's passed. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Lemore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
3 yes, passed. 140.15, authorized budget transfers by the town comptroller to various accounts for 2015.
Any comments, questions? Hearing none? We have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Mr. Valano, can I have a second?
I'll second it.
Mr. Lemore, on the vote?
Okay, Mr. Lemore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Yes.
3 yes, passed.
Okay, that takes care of our
That's all right.
resolution portion, I'm sorry,
Almost.
almost.
I hereby make a motion to add resolution 141.15 to amend the rules of this town board to allow the town board members to actually respond to the members of the public during privilege of the floor. I've asked for this repeatedly when I was the one standing at the microphone. I've asked for this repeatedly when I've sat up here. I believe that town hall should be a place where there can be a dialogue between the members of the public and the town board, which is put up here to serve them. It's an important aspect of the relationship between a governing body and the people that supposedly they govern to have that give and take. When I was a candidate and when I was simply a resident of this town standing at the microphone, I have gone 4 years at this point and not getting a response from this town board. I am incredibly disappointed that there is not a mechanism where the people can get immediate response. And I would ask that on this occasion, and with the fact that we have another member of the public asking for the town board to have a dialogue with its residents, I would ask that it be added now. So therefore, I make a motion to amend our town board rules.
What was that? What was that, 140 what?
141.15.
41. Okay, we have a motion on the floor by Mr. Valano. We have a second?
I'll second it.
Okay, any questions on the question? Nothing, discussion? We already did that, vote?
Mr. Lemore?
I'd say yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Okay, before I give my answer, I just want to say that supervisor is absent. And I think this is a pretty important step. Not that I don't maybe agree with it, but I think he deserves to be here and should have a say in this matter. So because of that, we can either table it until next time. I vote no.
That's fair enough.
Didn't carry.
Next, I hereby make a motion to add a second resolution, 141.15, to tonight's dialogue.
That was already 141.
But it didn't carry, so we didn't add it.
Alright.
So this is 141.15 again.
Go ahead.
All right? I hereby,
Joe, can I just ask a quick thing? If
Yeah.
you could just leave it and I can put on there that it didn't pass, then I would
Sure.
go with 142, is that okay?
That's
Okay,
fine.
That's fine, whatever's
Okay, thank you.
easier.
I appreciate
That's
it.
the right way to do it? Okay.
all right, I hereby make a motion to add resolution 142.15 to tonight's agenda. I ask that we move $200,000 from the fund that was generated upon the sale of the Curry Road Shopping Plaza to line item DA5110-4147 Highway Resurfacing, so that our highway superintendent can actually perform near the balance of the projects that he had listed on his poster board tonight.
Okay, we have a motion that's out there. You have a second?
I will definitely second that one.
Okay.
So Mr. Lemore?
Yes.
Mr. Valano?
Yes.
Mr. Calder?
Again, this is $200,000, Mr. Valano. That's a lot of money. And the supervisor's budget that we're working off of right now did not allow this. He should be here, and that's the only right thing. I mean, to have him being away when he is, and this is the first meeting he's ever missed, is unfair to come up with either one of these ideas.
Both of these ideas have been brought up with both you and the supervisor present, and they've been voted down by both you and the supervisor on other occasions as well. So I'm placing it in your hands, Mr. Deputy Supervisor, to right past practices.
No, the answer is no.
Okay?
Fails.
No, yes.
Again, on this subject, if you want to look at this again next month, I'll be glad to revisit it, and I'm sure the supervisor will also.
Okay. It'll be the third occasion, but I certainly will bring it back up.
Just do it when the supervisor's here, and I have no issue with you bringing it up at any time. Okay, under committee reports, anybody have anything? Hearing none. Miscellaneous?
Yes, Mr. Deputy Supervisor. I just wanted to make mention, since I don't know how many people in the town actually attended. I know it was quite a few, because just in the hour and 15 minutes I was there at Time Warner for turning in your electronics and everything, there was at least 400 cars. And so I just want to commend the police officer that was doing the traffic that day, because he had a bear of a job, and it was very, very hot, and he did a hell of a job, because it was, I mean, both traffic going both ways. It was bumper to bumper, probably the whole High Bridge. And he had traffic flowing very well. I mean, I could see how backed up it was, and I only had about 15-minute wait to get in. Of course, then it was another long wait getting around and going around about to get through to actually drop off what we wanted to drop off. But I mean, what he had to do that day, I'm glad it wasn't me. And I just wanted, I don't know who the officer was, I don't know him by name, but I think he did a hell of a job, so I just want to commend him.
That's very nice. The deputy chief is here. I'm sure he'll pass that on. Anything else under miscellaneous?
Yes, Mr. Deputy Supervisor. A few meetings ago, there was another electrical inspector that came before us and was looking for us to contact the coordinator of Public Works in an effort to get his application pushed through. And I asked for feedback of when and if that was going to happen, and I never heard. Do you know if that application was ultimately approved?
That went to Mickey.
Vince Romano.
No, I went to Vince, and it went to Mickey, who's our building inspector, who has been dealing with this prior to this, and knows the gentleman. I think we'll have to take it up with him, and I'll do that for you, get back to you, Joe.
Okay, because we have another gentleman here tonight asking to do the same thing. And
I realize that.
And I don't want these to be continually tabled. I mean, they have a right to make a living, and they're providing a service for the benefit of the town residents, and I just don't want these things to be hung up.
I agree. There is a list, and I'll find out whether that past gentleman is on it, and we'll see what we do about getting this gentleman on.
One last thing, Mr. Deputy Supervisor. Right, back in March, prior to the deadline, I happened to bring up something that Mr. Godlewski had reminded me of tonight. I had asked specifically the supervisor and you whether there was going to be a plan of us consolidating services with the county, or whether we were going to go on our own. And there was a simple straw poll taken at that meeting, and it was determined that it would not be the will of the board to join in with the county. And no resolution has come up, and certainly the time now to participate has come and gone. What progress did we make to have the town go on its own to share services or reduce budgetary constraints?
Okay.
Can I just say, make a comment? I didn't bring this up. About a month ago, the town of Glenville had a problem with their application. There was an article by the Schenectady Gazette. The Schenectady Gazette said that Glenville was the only town that wasn't part of the county plan. That's why I brought it up. Because I know it needed legislative approval to go forward, and I haven't seen any action. So I don't know what happened to Glenville's. I like Glenville, but I care about Rotterdam.
And Councilman Lamore and I rejected the concept of going forward with the county,
Yeah, I
specifically
understand.
on the record.
And you make a good point, and Mr. Godlewski does too. This exchange is not normal, but
Well, I know.
you bring up a point.
Well, I
It's-
just want to
it's
make
good.
sure that.
Jackie, do we have anything on that date? That we try to get stuff in? excuse me, Bob, let the,
I have the law here, and I have the newspaper article.
I'm aware you have that, I'm sure you do. One second, let Jackie, go ahead, Jackie.
We submitted a proposal in accordance with several other municipalities, with the county being the umbrella submitter. We did not participate in another plan with them. We did not create a savings with them. In their spirit of what the law read, and in order for New York State not to get a submission from every municipality, but as this was supposed to work as an efficiency, they were taking the lead as the county, would take our materials, combine them into one submission, therefore New York State would get one submission under all of these different municipalities in the county of Schenectady. But we created no plan to enjoin with the county.
We are not going to be transferring funds, buying materials, or having anything else that would bind us further to the county, especially considering what an absolute nightmare central dispatch has been and the additional cost that we've picked up.
No, we did not enjoin with a second plan. The only plan that we have is the UCC, with the costs associated with that, with our quarterly billings and the catch-up billing that happens in February of the following year. That's the only plan we participate in there with Central Dispatch. The other program that we put forward was the end of our paramedic program to cease the service and privatize. So we did submit that to New York State as well as the second plan. And all of this was collected by the county and submitted under their umbrella name, under the town of Rotterdam's plan, but without enjoining us to any further action with the county, just to combine submissions for the efficiency of New York State to see these plans.
Can you forward that to me?
I will see to get a copy. I didn't get a copy. If it came to the supervisor. I have no email currently.
So in other words, on that, the only thing that we actually put that we did was the UCC, because we'd already done that.
We did both
And
of them.
terminated the paramedics, which
We
we
did
already
both
did
of
as
them.
well.
That was done a couple years ago.
Right, we did a shared service and we did the efficiency plan where we privatized the service, which were both implemented under the guidelines of the dates. So we submitted both plans and the county collected that data.
Thanks, Jack. The legalities of that, I'm not sure
Well, I
myself.
understand it.
And you know that, so we
I
can probably
know what
have
you
this
just
discussion if you want next month.
Yeah, don't worry.
You'll
I'll
get an
be
answer.
back.
I'm sure you will.
But-
I can assure you I'll be back,
but-
because
That's
I
fine.
heard what she said, and I know how smoke gets in the air.
Well,
It was
let's,
very
let's,
clear that we would be independent of the county and everything. We
Right.
could have taken our share of the centralized dispatch and applied for it for our own purpose. And what they did is, they used legalese, I know what happened, but I will look into it further. I can
okay,
assure you.
we'll try to get
that.
some answers for you next.
Yes, and I
meeting.
appreciate that.
Since the controller does not have a copy of our submission, is that something that you would have, Deputy
I
Supervisor?
don't know, I have to look myself. I don't-
Okay, can you ensure that I do get a copy of
If I
that?
have it, you'll get it.
And
if I have
if the town has it, can I get it?
Well, if you have it, we'll get it for you, and we'll work on that as soon as possible.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, anything else at all? Okay, how about we adjourn for tonight? Do we have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second. We're adjourned. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.